Morning. It's Monday morning. Welcome to Manhood Mondays with Coach Ellis. Hey, I'm a little early today. I'll be early all week long because I have 8 o'clock appointments all week. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about this manhood issue. Recently, I watched a television show, and yesterday I had some very hard discussions on one of my podcasts, one of my radio shows, on the Why Church People and on the Trust What God Allows. I've been having some conversations about the LGBT community and the church. And I watched a TV show yesterday that had me thinking about some things that I think reflects with Manhood Monday. So this is for fathers and those who are in a father's role. What do you do when your child chooses a lifestyle that is against everything you have taught them? What do you do, dads, when your son or your daughter chooses a lifestyle that is totally the antithesis of everything you've taught them for 18, 19, 20 years in your household? This could mean they've chosen an LGBTQ lifestyle. It could mean that they've chosen to be promiscuous heterosexually. It could mean something as benign as being tatted and pierced. Or it could, they could be dyeing their hair, or they could choose to be a thief or a drug dealer or a gang member. What do you do when your heart is breaking because your children have chosen something different than what you have brought them up to believe? And in watching and having these discussions and watching the television show, it became very clear to me that oftentimes we began to, as parents, distance ourselves from our children when they've made what we think are bad or stupid or inconsistent decisions. And part of the problem is that sometimes, a lot of the times, most of the time, our children are dying to hear us say we're proud of them. They're dying to hear us saying that we're with you, we got your back. They're dying to hear us reaffirm them and reassure them that no matter what, I'm in your corner. And sometimes that's hard because you're a dad, they do things that make you scratch your head and go, whose child are you? But here's the coaching spot for you today. It doesn't matter what your children do or say. It doesn't matter how they come off. At the end of the day, they are flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. They are seeds of your loins. So if they choose an alternative lifestyle, or they choose a gang life, they choose to do things that are inconsistent, love them still. Because when everything else fails, all they will have to come back to is family. And dad, you set the standard, you set the tone. Now, I want to be clear. I don't have to agree with my children's choices. I don't have to agree with their decisions. I agree they have the right to make them. Because there's some juncture, we turn them loose so that they can have their own lives and they deal with God themselves. Out of love for them, we want them to do well. Out of love for them, we don't want them to hurt. Out of love for them, we don't want them to have unnecessary detours. But who are we to say these are not the very things that draw them to a place where God impacts their lives in a way that they never would have if you were shepherding over them? One of the things I learned with my kids is that either I trust God with them or I don't. And I cannot put myself in a position that I stand between them and God, shielding them from God or trying to hold God off from dealing with them. Because at the end of the day, God is sovereign. And because I have stewardship responsibility and not ownership, then I have to allow God to have an impact in their lives. So when my child chooses something that is against everything I believe, I love them, I pray for them, and then I let God deal with them. When they choose to speak to people and to dishonor the very history and heritage I've taught them. At the end of the day, they are still my child, and I will love them. And I have to allow God to deal with them. So what do you do, dads? And I know there's a father out there who's heartbroken because their child has chosen a way of life that has totally devastated them. There's a mother. We listen to their moms lament by the decisions that they make. As fathers, we begin the standard by praying for them, by holding them accountable, and then by supporting. Because at the end of the day, again, I don't have to agree with you, but you're my son, you're my daughter, and I love you. I love you to the moon and back. I'll love you to life. And even when you make decisions that I don't agree with, I trust God with you. So our fatherhood moment, we must learn to trust God with our kids when we don't agree with them. And just maybe, just perhaps, every now and then, we might be the one in the wrong place. Hey, I'm Coach Ellis. You can reach me at coach@elliscrum.net. It's ELLISCRUM.net. Or catch me at Coach Ellis on Facebook. And until next week, till next Monday, to the next Manhood Monday conversation, have a one-tabulous day. Be a great dad. God bless you.